Are you currently suffering from sleep issues? Well, I might have something that could help you. Recently, I had an insomnia spell where I could not get to sleep until about 3:30 a.m. I was sleeping in and I felt so tired throughout the day, and I kept getting the flu, and I realized I can't keep living this way. I decided to jump online and have a look to see if there was anything that could help me. Unfortunately, a lot of the time you're going to get results like melatonin tablets, magnesium, chamomile tea, and the always interesting cherry melatonin gummy recipe, which I'm not a fan of. So I realized there's really not anything else out there that can help. And here's an interesting fact. There are actually 8 pathways to sleep, not just melatonin. And so if you are popping melatonin, you're just getting one small piece of the puzzle, and you really want to look at the entire scope of sleep. So I decided, well, I guess I'm just going to have a look and see what recipes or supplements cover the 8 pathways. There is nothing out there at all. I couldn't find anything. So this is most likely a first. So you are going to be getting a recipe that covers the entire 8 pathways, and the best thing is it's all natural and it's really easy to make and it's cheap. I have tried this one myself, and I personally had the best night's sleep of my life every single night that I had it. So I know that these worked for me, and I realize I have to share this. If there's someone there in the world that is suffering from sleep issues, they need to have this recipe and try it for themselves and see if they have the same results as I did. Let's dive right into it. This is my recipe, which is called Night Bites. Pathway 1, you have serotonin. For this one, I added in 1 ripe banana. So bananas provide vitamin B6, which your brain needs to make serotonin. This is the mood stabilizer neurotransmitter. So at night, serotonin converts into melatonin, which is your sleep hormone. And without enough serotonin, melatonin production suffers. A good thing with bananas, they also contain potassium, which will help relax your muscles and nerves, so nighttime restlessness is less likely to happen. Pathway 2 is melatonin, and for that I've added in half a cup of walnuts, and these walnuts naturally contain melatonin. This is what tells your body it's nighttime and will help initiate sleep. Walnuts also provide omega-3 fats and antioxidants that help reduce inflammation and support your brain repairing during sleep. Now this one is pathway 3, GABA, known as gamma-aminobutyric acid. Now for this one, I have added 2 to 3 tablespoons of strong chamomile tea concentrate. So for this, I steeped a heaped tablespoon of the loose flowers for 10 minutes in half a cup of water, or you could use 3 tea bags. So chamomile contains apigenin, a plant compound that binds to these GABA receptors in the brain. GABA is basically your brain's off switch, and it will calm overactive neurons and quiet those racing thoughts so you can drift off to sleep more easily. The next pathway is number 4, adenosine. So I've added in a cup of oats. You can use quick oats or rolled oats, whichever one works for you. So these release gentle, complex carbohydrates that allow this adenosine, which is a chemical that builds up all day long in the brain, to work as effectively as possible. So it creates sleep pressure, which causes that heavy-eyed feeling at night. You know when you just cannot keep your eyes open? Well, that's adenosine. And did you know that caffeine blocks it? This is why coffee keeps you awake. And oats also are going to supply some B vitamins and magnesium to support neurotransmitter balance. Pathway 5 is blood sugar and cortisol. I've added in 4 medjool dates. They are pitted and I diced them up. These will provide a steady, slow release of natural sugars. This is going to keep your blood glucose stable overnight. And if your blood sugar does drop too low, the cortisol, which is your stress hormone, will spike and wake you up in the early hours. So dates are just going to prevent you waking at 2 to 3 a.m. and it will just keep your energy a bit more balanced while you sleep. Pathway 6, glycine. I have added in 1/4 cup of pumpkin seeds. Now these pumpkin seeds supply both glycine, which is a calming amino acid, and also magnesium, which will relax muscles and lower your nervous system tension. Glycine will also help your core body temperature drop slightly. This is a key signal to allow your body to enter a deep restorative sleep. Pathway 7, acetylcholine. I have added 2 tablespoons of sunflower seeds here. These seeds are rich in choline. This is a building block of acetylcholine, and it's a neurotransmitter essential for REM sleep, otherwise known as rapid eye movement sleep. Acetylcholine drives vivid dreaming, memory consolidation, and emotional processing during the night. Without it, your dreams are going to feel flat and you are going to feel way less refreshed when you wake. Pathway 8, histamine and orexin. I've added half a teaspoon of cinnamon here. Cinnamon is going to help regulate blood sugar, which keeps histamine and orexin, which are 2 wake-up chemicals, from overfiring during the night. So histamine makes you alert, and orexin is like your brain's way of saying stay awake. So balancing them prevents tossing and turning in the night. So my husband was my official taste tester, and he is a bit of a sweet tooth. I unfortunately am not. So when I ate these night bites, I thought, oh, they're amazing. But my husband's like, yeah, they're not very sweet, are they? So I've added in some honey here, and it is important because it will provide a tiny glucose lift that will trigger insulin and clear competing amino acids from the bloodstream. This is going to allow more tryptophan, which is a precursor to serotonin, to cross into the brain, which will help you fall asleep faster and stay asleep longer. So I've just drizzled a bit to bind those pathways together very nicely. So the method to make these is you want to add your dry ingredients to a bowl or a food processor, and then you can add the wet ingredients and then balance the consistency by adding more oats if they're too wet or more tea if they are too dry. This should help you form these little night bites a bit better. So I just rolled them in between my hands until the consistency was something I liked. And they should make hopefully 7, because this is enough to make 7 serves. These can store up to 5 days in the fridge. So unfortunately, 2 of these little guys are going to have a little sleep in the freezer. And then on probably day 5, just throw them in the fridge and they will thaw out for you for day 6 and 7. Alright, so my second recipe is for those who might like a fruitier flavour and are not a fan of nuts or seeds. So this is my cherry moon gummy, and it's going to hit all 8 pathways as well. But it is not as potent as my night bites, so it's best for those who would like a gentler recipe. We have pathway 1, which is serotonin, and here I've added in a 1/4 cup of kiwi juice. Pathway 2, melatonin. I've used half a cup of tart cherry juice. Please make sure you use tart cherries for this and not the sweet variety. Pathway 3, GABA. Please use either chamomile or lemon balm tea here. So 2 tea bags or 2 heaped teaspoons of the loose flowers or leaves in half a cup of hot water for 10 minutes. If you do use lemon balm, just make sure you do not have any thyroid issues. So pathway 4 is adenosine. I've added in 2 tablespoons of raw honey here. Pathway 5, blood sugar and cortisol. I've added 1 tablespoon of blueberry juice. Pathway 6, glycine. I've added 1 3/4 tablespoon of gelatin. Pathway 7, acetylcholine. 2 tablespoons of almond milk. Pathway 8, histamine and orexin. 1/4 cup of pineapple juice. Now I just combined these in a saucepan on low and stirred for about 2 to 3 minutes until it's hot, but never boil this one. Take it off the heat. And just so you know, it's best to likely add your gelatin and honey last when it's a little bit cooler, just so it's easier to combine that. Just whisk that one through. And then you can pour it into your mold trays and put them in the fridge for 2 to 3 hours or until they are firm. Depending on your mold size, this recipe will give you enough for 7 days, which is how long this recipe will stay in the fridge. So try and aim for 7 gummies, but if you do have a mold tray that they are smaller and you need to make more of them, aim for 14 or 21. So you'll have about 2 or 3 serves per night of these gummies, just to make sure that it's an equal dose. So those are the recipes. Also make sure you try and aim for good sleep hygiene. Keep a clean environment in your sleeping area. A well-ventilated and cool room is more beneficial to good night's sleep, and avoid blue light and heavy meals right before bed. Let me know how the recipes go for you. I would love to know that they made a great impact on your nightly routines like they did for me. Sleep well.